Hiya guys, and welcome back to Wade's Workshop and another episode of Shed Talk on this cold January morning. It's freezing in here. I've got the heating on and I've only been here about 5 minutes or so, but it's starting to warm up now. Okay, so we've had some viewer stickers come in, or subscriber stickers from other YouTube channels, so we'll share those with you now. So first of all, we got Kevin at Machine NZ. As the name suggests, machine shop in New Zealand. Northern Ireland? No, that's to come later, something from Northern Ireland. Anyway, that's Kevin at Machine NZ. Those of you that follow Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop will see that on the Wednesday live stream, Kevin is a regular caller in, shall we call him, on that. Unfortunately, I can't call into that anymore on a Wednesday. I think it's 11 o'clock in the UK on a Wednesday morning here, although it's... I think it was a Wednesday night live stream in Australia. And a big shout out to all those guys in Australia with suffering with the fires and the floods as it seems to be now. So yeah, thinking of you all in Australia. Anyway, that's Kevin at Machine NZ. So we'll put him on the sticker board. And the next one we've got is the Air Cave Shop. I'll give you a close-up of these when I put them on the board. And this is Dean. Interesting stuff, you know, all sorts of good projects going on at the Air Cave Shop. So check him out, guys. And that's Dean, and he's in San Jose, I think, California. That's the Air Cave Shop. So check him out as well. So we have the Air Cave Shop. He's up there on the board next to Go Create, below myself and Craig's workshop. Craig's another one that turns up on Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop. Hang on, let's have a little sticker call out, shall we? Oh, the light is playing up with the Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop. That's this one here. Swan Valley Machine Shop. We've got all of them. Woods Creek, good old Ute Shoal, Active Atom. Where are you guys? We haven't heard from you in a while. And of course, Everett in the top left. And let's have a look. Hey up, Tony. And there we are, underneath Hey up, Tony, Machine NZ. I quite like the 25.4 on the calipers on the sticker. Obviously 25.4 millimeters being an inch. Yeah, I like that when I saw it. I suppose as I'm on it, I ought to give a shout out to the others. Ragsdale Creek, Swan Valley Machine Shop. Who have I missed? I think I've got everybody. Yeah, so let's have a quick zoom out and have a look at the sticker board. So yeah, sticker board. Everett, Active Atom in the top. Let's zoom in order. Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop, Woods Creek, Ute Shoal, Swan Valley, Ragsdale Creek Workshop, obviously Aids Workshop, Craig, Go Create Hobby Machine Shop. As I've said before, check him out. That's a great channel. He's building a 5-inch steam loco at the moment. Air Cave Shop, just gone up. Hey up, Tony. And Machine NZ. I can see the time coming when I'm going to have to get a bigger sticker board. I think we're half full. Anyway, let's get on with it. While we're on the subject, Active Atom. Hope you guys are okay. Haven't heard from you in a while. Yeah, I'm missing your content. Really enjoy it when you put a video up. So, yeah, I'm getting withdrawal symptoms. So, let's show us how that Barker Mill is getting on. So, a few weeks ago, I was talking about getting myself a spanner for my collet chuck instead of using the Allen key in the back, as you've seen me do. And Harry in Northern Ireland, let me just get it. Harry's the guy who many moons ago, or maybe 18 months, 2 years ago, sent me the winding handle for the rear of the rear of the headstock. Anyway, Harry's knocked me up a spanner, a 36 millimeter spanner. It's made up out of, you know, used files welded together, and he's dressed it all in and ground it back, you know, and it's, I love things that are handmade like this. So Harry, thank you so much. And yes, it does fit. Absolutely perfect. Cheers again, Harry. Picked up one of these dehumidifier things. Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is. Whether it's silica gel or what it is, but yeah, it's supposed to suck water out and dribble it in the bottom. I don't know. Let's see how it works. Better than what I've got at the moment, which is nothing. And this time of year when it's, you know, freezing cold at night, and it can get, you know, sort of 10, 11 degrees during the day, but we had a hard frost last night, probably -2. No, you know, not dreadful by some people's standards, but yeah, the big changes in temperature do cause a lot of moisture in the workshop here. I do try and keep things well oiled up, but if I'm not in here for a week or what have you, due to work or whatever, things can get very rusty. So I'm going to try this. I'm just going to leave it on the lathe, just see if it makes any difference. First thing normally to rust is the tool post here, or you know, the riser block. So we'll see how we get on with that. I have sprayed it in, or given it a wipe over with an oily hand, as it were, and you know, just sort of to give it a protective film, but we'll see how it goes. So my height gauge has been hanging around for a while, and it desperately calling out for a box to put it in. I haven't touched it since I've had it. I haven't, you know, tried to restore it, polish it, do anything with it yet. But when I do, again, down to the rust problems, I want to make sure that it's kept in a box with some, you know, oily paper, that sort of idea. I found a piece of wood for a base. Quick measure. Now, those of you who know me well, I am no carpenter. Let's have a look. Just under 15 inches. So I think if it went in a box, that looks wide enough. If I went 15 1/4 long for the base, and then put the sides of the box on the outside of this piece of wood. Let's just have a look. About 1/4 inch gap there, 1/4 inch gap there. That looks, the piece of timber's about the right width. So yeah, 15 1/4 long. So yeah, if I did that 15 1/4, I've already put a little line there, 15 1/4. Blunt pencil. Adrian, sharpen your pencil. Okay. Yeah, if I cut that off 15 1/4, how much have I got left of that piece? About 8 1/2. And what's the width of this unit? About 3. So if I did, well, my 8 1/2, if I cut that 3-inch piece, or what's left, that 8 1/2 in half, it'll give me enough to do the 2 sides, and then we'll work from there. So I'm going to make a racket. There's my base plate, and I'll cut that in half. Probably couldn't hear me then. There's my base plate, and I'll cut that piece in half. I'll just have a quick measure, see what a half of it is. So a 220 mil, I'll put a little line on at 110. I still haven't sharpened my pencil. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, probably within. Could do with a millimetre or so off. Which one's out? Couple of millimetres off this one, so just do that quickly. It's very awkward here. Okay, now they're the same. Right, so that done. Let's put those bits together and then do some measuring. So I'll just sand these off. You know what, I can handle steel all day. Pick it up, sharp edges, what have you. Never get a splinter. Oh, very, very rarely. Second I go near a piece of wood, it bites me. So whenever I'm working with a piece of wood, and I just cut it or what have you, especially if I'm going to be handling it a lot, you know, I'll take a piece of sandpaper to it and just take the splinters off. I don't know what it is, but wood seems to attract itself to the underside of my skin. Yeah, so yeah, just taking the edges off it. This is going to be all coated with, I don't know, I'll get some sort of fabric for the outside at a later date, you know, some sort of fake leather or what have you, maybe put some green baize on the inside. We'll see how it turns out. Again, it's a recycled piece of wood, it's already got holes in it, but I'm not too worried about that. As I'm going to be covering it all up at a later stage. You know, I could make a box out of some fancy wood, you know, and leave it open and what have you, but I think my standard of woodworking, should we call it, well, it will be a waste of good wood. So, yeah. But I don't like wood splinters, or wood doesn't like me. As you can see, it can take 2 seconds, especially when you've done it with a chop saw. It you know, it leaves quite a good edge on it. That's it. Safe from the wood demons. So the thickness of this is 20 millimeters. So if I just mark myself a line, okay, 10 millimeters up, just a little score line on both. Same on the one for the other end. We'll drill some pilot holes in there, I think. Let's have a look what width it was. Well, 5 3/4, 145 mil. So if I go 10 mil in from either end, and then let's have a look. Yeah, 10 mil in and 50 mil in. So that'd be 95. That's about 4 equally spaced holes in the end. So 10, 50. Here's my line, 135, and another 40 from there, 95. Is that what I did? Yep. So I'll get the hand drill out, we'll pop 4 holes in there. I'll just centre punch the 4 holes. Are you meant to centre punch wood? I don't know. Well, I certainly do on steel if I want to pick up a hole, a marked hole. So why not with wood? Let's see what screws we've got that are appropriate. Random box of screws, and everything's either too big or too small. Yeah, too big, and yeah, too small. Okay, I'll have to dig a little deeper. So what are these? Oh, they look promising. 1.5 inch number 8s. They'll do the job, and there's more than enough there for what I want. Happy days, we got some. Just measured the diameter of the screws, and they're 4.2 mil. So 4.2 drill, keep it nice and square. Right, do the same on the other one now. As you can see, I just got it G-clamped on the end of my bench. With the, obviously the block of wood, the holes hanging over the end. We don't want to go drilling holes in my work surface. Let's just try one of those in the hole. Yeah, just about clear. Okay. So just a little countersink on the outer edge. Sand the burrs off. Burrs? Splinters? What do you call them? I don't know. I'm not a woodist, I'm a metalist. Right. So I think I'll start one end, do the screw both ends, line the outer edge up here. Okay, I've clamped the base plate to the bench. Find a screwdriver bit. Should I be using a screwdriver bit? I tell you what. perhaps I shouldn't. Perhaps I should be using a normal screwdriver. Right, just got to find one now. That looks about right. Let's just bring that through until it's just about to break surface. There. I've got enough hands. Line up that front edge. Yep. Give that a little tap. I'm holding it down on the worktop as well. Okay. I think we can now go in with the other three. I'm not putting a pilot in this wood, it's not likely to crack, it's only soft wood. So let's just get him in the way. I'll tell you what I am going to do. Where's that screwdriver bit? Why have a dog and bark yourself, isn't it? Finish them off with a screwdriver. Okay, for some reason that end one needs a little bit bigger countersink, I think. I don't want to force it or over force it. Don't want to risk ripping the threads out. That should do it. Let's try that again. It didn't quite go below surface. Now it is. Okay, so same thing on the other end now. Well, that's a start to it. And just double check myself. Yep, that's going to fit in there nicely. I think we'll have some sort of block in here somewhere for this to drop down onto so that it sits square. So maybe make up that block now. Let's see what timber I got lying around. I found another block of the same timber, so that's useful. So it's too long, so that's good, and it's too high, so that's good. If I put that there and draw a line, I could cut that off and get the height right. So first job, sharpen the pencil. Okay, so I've found a sharp pencil, and that's the length, that's the height. Right, I want that bit. So again, make it up as you go along. I got my piece of wood. I think I'll put it about there. So I'll screw it into place and take it back off, and then we'll make some sort of cutout for it. So yeah, about there. So I'll draw a line now with a square. Well, let's go and get one of my squares. We'll draw a nice line, move back 10mm, and I'll drill some holes down through the top here, countersinking from the back, and we'll screw this in place. So I'll just mark out a position. There. If I just mark out a height by squaring that up, that height. So let's just transfer that onto one edge. I'll get the square out, take this back off and cut a notch down in there. I'll probably 45 the top out and just have the last quarter of an inch at the right width, or the last half an inch maybe, so that it, you know, it does, you haven't got to get it exact to drop it in. I'll show you that in a minute. Mark some lines on here with the cutout, and I think we'll put some 45s up in here. So I'll do a quick measurement, draw them on, and I'll cut it out. So I was going to come up like 20mm and put a 45 on, but it just seemed a bit excessive to have all that cut out. So I'm just doing the top bit. Yeah, I'll just probably put a radius on here afterwards, just so that it drops down in nicely. And I may have to make it a little bit wider at some point so that I can get some bays on it or what have you. But yeah, okay, we'll come to that. So I'm going to cut this piece out. I think good old-fashioned method, saw. I'll cut it out with a saw, cut down to there, cut down to there, cut those two bits out, and then probably chisel the bottom bit out. Well, there we are. Got the block in with its little slot, and height gauge sits in there nicely. Had a few pieces of this laminate flooring left over. It's pretty tough old stuff. So I've cut a piece, basically laid it on the back of the box, drew around it, cut it to the shape, and I've screwed it down. I've also screwed it to the cross piece in here. So yeah, we're starting to get the makings of a box now. I've dug out my palm sander and just given it a lick over the bottom just to get everything flat and true and what have you. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Did see somewhere else I need to do a little bit on the ends of here just to flatten this surface off, but we'll worry about that at a later date. Anyway, I want to get the internals of the box sorted out before I put the front cover or the lid or anything like that on. Oh, let me just show you. It does fit down in there, and there's a good ½ inch of clearance. So I think what I'm going to do now, I've got another piece of MDF here. Nice square edge there. This is going to disappear. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to cut a piece that goes in the bottom of there, and I'm going to cut a profile just a little bit larger than the shape of the foot. That should be quite easy to do, and obviously cut it to shape to the size of the end of the box, so that when I put it in the box, or when I put this in, it will slot into a groove, and then we'll have something else at this end to keep it into that groove, maybe a piece of, just a vertical piece of wood with a slope on it. We'll show you that when I've done it. So first things first, draw some lines around this, cut it to size, and away we go. So I've just drawn some lines around the outside of the box, so I'm going to cut that piece out, the piece I want. Just cut slightly outside the lines, and I can sand it, the last bit, to get it into the right size. Yeah, as I said, I'm no woodist. I'm a metal worker. Yeah, metal's my thing, but I'll cut that piece of wood. You know, if I had a milling machine, I'd probably just hacksaw it off or cut it off somehow and then machine it or what have you. But I haven't got a milling machine yet. So I've just cut a little piece of flooring, and it just fits. You know, it's just a neat fit around the base. So having cut that, I got to screw it into position there, and then I'll just trim the outers to make a good fit. I think I'll have a nice chamfer on the top of there. Just pop the middle bit back out again, and I've drilled a 4mm or 4.2mm hole there. The reason for this will become evident in a minute. As you can see, the base is all screwed in. The top piece, can you see it from there? Top piece is screwed in with a chamfer there. And let me just show that the height gauge does sit in position, and when it's against the top, the bottom won't move. So I need a means by which to latch this down. I don't want to do it on the door, so I've come up with a cunning plan, hence the little hole in the spacer. So I'll screw this back in again now and show you what I've come up with. So my original plan was to have a box of this sort of shape and design, where it lies down with an opening lid this way. I've changed my mind on that. I've decided that I'm going to have the box, purely because it takes up less bench space. Let me just bring you back into shot. There we go, you can see the box in its upright. To have the box in this design, so that just drops in there, and it basically, it can't come out. Right, okay, but I need a little latch to go in here. So I came up with a cunning plan with a little piece of cardboard, and I thought if we have something in there like that pivots about a point here, that goes like that and locks it in place, it's, you know, it's not going to rattle about if I do move it from A to B. So yeah, started with a piece of cardboard, rough template of what I want to do. And here's one I prepared earlier out of a piece of MDF, and that's going to sit there. And we need to put a little spring here to here somewhere to keep it shut if it's held on a pivot point here. So yeah, it's all experimental this. I got a little tension spring, so I'm going to screw that down through the block in the hole I just made at the back there. I'm going to space it off with a little nut so that it's the thickness of the MDF or a bit more, and then I'm going to screw it to the piece of MDF. But I'm going to see how much tension as to where the screw hole goes. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is to fit this spring into the back of the box, and then we can work out the two holes in the MDF, its pivot point and where the spring's going to attach as we go along. Okay, so the vertical version of the box. Obviously I've got this side left to go on. It does clear the tip when it's in place. Bit of sawdust going on. So the little latch, I've had to double up and put two springs on it. But it does stay in the open position when it goes over centre. You can lift the vernier out for use, and when you want to return it, you pop it in the pocket in the bottom, put it in place, close the lock, and yeah, I mean, it stays there. It's strong enough. I wanted it so that if it was in transit, being carried, moved around, that it wasn't going to be, you know, rattling. I think what I might do, I don't know, there's a thought. I could put a little screw or something on the back of here so that when the door is shut, that stays shut. You know, it can't move at all. But yeah, depends which way I hinge the door and what have you. But so far so good. I think that's a good point to call it a day on this one for now, and I'll get a few bits of hardware, maybe some corners, maybe I think I'll get some, or I might even machine some little nylon feet for the bottom. 4 little feet, one for each corner, so that, you know, it'll sit on a worktop. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. Maybe some stick-on rubber ones, something like that. But yeah, I think when the box is finished, that side's done, I'll get perhaps a piece of piano hinge, maybe. Some sort of latching device. I don't know. We'll see as we go along. Well, there we are. Half a box. I think the old height gauge deserves a box of its own, somewhere tidy to live in. I don't know how long it's been knocking about in its life, but it's going to be in a nice box. I'll put a bit of green baize in the bottom, perhaps a strip on the top, and in where it rubs as it goes into the box. But yeah, generally I'm happy with how it's going. I'll probably put some black vinyl or something like that on the outside, bit of baize on the bottom or some feet, I don't know. A door, obviously, piano hinge, bit of hardware to keep the door shut. We'll see how that goes as we go along. Anyway, on to more important matters. Aids Workshop channel, thanks to all of your support, has crossed the 5,000 subscriber mark. I was actually over the moon when I saw it click over. I was watching it and it got to sort of 4,997, and I could come back in half an hour and it was still the same, come back in half an hour, still the same, and then it went to 4,999, and I was like, oh my god, this is just like right there. And I think it took about 3 minutes after it went to 4,999, it went over to 5,005 for some reason. Anyway, so thanks guys. I think you might have all been trying to be the 5,000th subscriber. I don't know. Anyway, I was so happy. I think at the moment we're on 5,048 or something like that, you know, a couple of days later. So yeah, all I can say on that subject is thank you so much to all of you who've subscribed to Aids Workshop. It just means everything to me. It's just great to know that people are interested in what I'm doing, really, enough to subscribe so that they can see what I'm doing in the future. On that note, I'm thinking, or I sort of thought that when I cross the 5,000 mark, that I may start up Patreon for Aids Workshop. Let me know what you think, guys. I've sort of done a little bit of research on Patreon, and I know a few, obviously lots and lots of other YouTubers use Patreon, you know, to fund their channels, as it were. I mean, I'm sitting here with No Milling Machine, and you know, Patreon funding perhaps would help a little bit towards it. I'm not expecting it to do everything. I've pretty much got 99% of the funds for that already tucked aside, as it were. But yeah, let me know what you think. Whether you'd be interested in being a patron, or whether you think I should leave it alone. Let me know. I'm just putting it out there. Okay. So anyway, once again, thank you all so much for subscribing. Oh, one other thing. There won't be a video for the next couple of weeks after this one. I got so much on. I'm away from the house so much in the next couple of weeks that I just literally won't get a chance to get in the workshop. It's nice to be busy on one hand, and yet it's not nice to be kept away from the workshop, but that's just the way it goes. Life gets in the way, as they say. Anyway, as I was about to say, thank you so much for subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Bye now.